Have you ever walked away from a conversation, replaying every word in your head, anxiously thinking, did I mess it up? Could I have handled it better? Well, there may be a solution to this awkward scenario sitting right in your pocket. A few weeks ago, I ran into a former colleague who's been doing really well for himself. And we had a friendly banter. He asked me where I'm heading. I said, I'm going to the gym. That's been my habit in the last few years. And he said, well, I don't even have time for that. And he grabbed his stomach and he said, I would need to do something like this. When I asked him what his priorities are, he said, well, I need to focus on this and that. And both of those things were related to work. And I made a joke saying, well, and health isn't a priority. That was an innocent comment, but it kept me thinking after the conversation. Did I do something wrong? Should I have said that? It was terrible few minutes until I realized that I do have something or someone to talk to. I remember that I've been using ChatGPT for a lot of things, like learning a new language or working on new video concepts. And I got my phone out and explained the situation to ChatGPT. And I received pretty reasonable advice on how to react to it. ChatGPT told me that we quite often catastrophizing things or blow out of proportion, where in fact that was an innocent comment that didn't have much impact on the person or myself, since we have known each other for quite some time. And it gave me some strategies on how to deal with this, even asking, is this something you experience on a regular basis? And is this something you need help in the future? I was quite impressed. It wasn't just the advice that ChatGPT was giving me, it was also having someone to talk to, even though it wasn't a real person. Then the chatter in my head suddenly stopped. Normally in this situation, I would talk to a friend or use one of the reframing techniques, but ChatGPT was surprisingly helpful at no expense at all of calling someone and taking the time away. I shared this story with a friend of mine, telling him that I felt like a complete weirdo talking to ChatGPT about my problems. And he told me something even bigger than what I've been experiencing. Apparently, he's been chatting to ChatGPT, pretending that he's actually talking to a real person on the street, while asking ChatGPT all kinds of questions, from some factual information to some practical advice about life. Hearing this made me realize that I wasn't a weirdo at all, but there are probably other people out there who's been using ChatGPT for this particular purpose. And I wasn't wrong. When I asked ChatGPT whether it can be used as a tool for awkward or anxious situations, it assured me that it can be and gave me a couple of options that I can use it for. For instance, it suggested that it can help me with social events by giving me a pep talk before going to one, preparing me for tricky conversations by practicing answering to those questions, or reframing negative thinking patterns, which I thought was quite useful. It was also helpful to me that I actually started calling it by name, and it suggested I use the name Alex, and we settled on Max because I already have friends called Alex. The researchers are paying attention to technologies like ChatGPT. There are a couple of papers on the internet discussing pros and cons. The pros, of course, are the fact that it's readily available right in your pocket. It's available 24/7, in fact. It's cost effective. There is a free version of ChatGPT. As long as you have a phone, you can easily install it. It also talks to you with the condition of anonymity. There is no person involved in this, and there's probably less bias and potential stigma attached talking about tricky situations. And the cons, of course, this technology hasn't been around for that long to be studied. It can give incorrect advice. We've heard of AI hallucinations, and we don't really know what negative impact it can have on a person. And just a quick note, I'm not a doctor or a therapist, and ChatGPT should not be used as a replacement for a proper medical advice or treatment. I'm simply sharing what worked for me in this awkward and anxious situation, like talking to a colleague. If you have any serious concerns, it's important that you reach out and seek for professional help. As we age, it's important that we manage stress effectively and it doesn't affect our sleep or health. Also, when we get older, we tend to less experiment with technology, and I think looking at things like ChatGPT could be an amazing solution as long as we can try and test and see if it works for us. You probably heard the saying that the best camera is the one that you didn't forget to bring with you on the trip. I think similarly, when you don't have a friend to talk to or cannot get help in that immediate moment, ChatGPT could be an easy solution sitting right in your pocket. I'm curious about your experience with it. Have you done something that you didn't think a lot of people do? Have you used it for something like dealing with awkward or stressful situations by getting advice, or maybe just simply talking to it? Let me know in the comment section. I'm keen to know your experience. Thank you for tuning in for another Thriving as We Age video. If you enjoy this, please like and subscribe. My name is Jay Martinov, and I'll see you in the next one.